All right, now we're live with YouTube. All right, we are up. There we go. I always forget the headphones. Which would you guys be like? I think we probably actually should have a real meeting. But would you guys be okay if we just open it? So we have to open the event to everybody on campus for them to pay for it. But yeah,
Whatever.
because trying to figure out the easiest way. Because if we do it at Moonlight, then I don't know how we pay for it technically. But if we get them to bring it to us, or even do like a Chick-fil-A down at the lounge, they can come in. But who's coming to Lieberman? That's the
Well, it'd be like, but that's a good thing, right? We want to make it
Yeah,
hard
that's
for people
what
to
it
do
was. Yeah.
Yes.
So also not trying to make it like inconvenient for anybody too, though. Like more or less wanted for us. But working that, which you know how to draw. You know how to draw.
Draw?
Yeah.
No, I can. Dude, my handwriting looks like a 4-year-old.
I was
Seriously,
really hoping you were about to tell me yes, I'm like a crazy artist.
This
What the
is
hell?
my,
Wait, no.
This is my handwriting. This is, you can read it. I left you that note. That note.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Could you read it?
yeah,
All the words.
all of them.
You just have to be nice.
I'm not my friend. I was able to take care of Athena.
You did. You know what? And you did an excellent job.
Yeah, I think I told you, right? The first few days, she like ran away from me for like the whole time. Like, I opened the door and she was gone. Like, what? I wasn't sure where she was. And then the last day, she finally realized that I'm the one feeding her. You know anyone that can draw?
Who?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm asking. I'm trying to get T-shirts.
Why?
Why not?
I will not pay for a t-shirt.
No, that's the point. Is that they're free?
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
what-
free.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll take anything that's free, but I'm not worried.
Well, but that's why I want something we'd
Did
like
you
to
ever do
wear.
that? Your unit ever be like, hey, we're getting company shirts and make you pay for them?
Yes.
Hoodies?
Yep. They were expensive, like expensive for the cheapest little skivvy shirts.
Ours was, we actually got pretty nice hoodies for it, but it was so,
We didn't even get hoodies. It was literally just like PT shirt like shirts.
it was on the Mio or whatever.
And then we
It's like
were like,
fighting a war. Like, shouldn't we be like, shouldn't that be our focus? Not,
yeah. Nah, branding, man. You got to brand. Brand the war.
Yeah.
And we were pogues too, so we didn't even get the good ones. We got like the lame stuff.
Were we?
No, you weren't.
Yeah, Blad Gunner. Yeah, we were.
Okay, that's not a pogue.
No, it definitely was not high speed. High speed. What's that? High speed, low drag.
Yes, sir. No, we okay. If you're not, then we were like the pogues of the pogues. Like when you think of pogue, you think of a high pack. That's us.
No, when I think of Poe, I think of mail court.
I think of like combat
Like
camera.
paralegal.
Yeah,
Combat
yeah.
camera, man. There's some of those guys would be it.
That's it. Yeah, not to like crap on them, but definitely. No, there's some jobs I just don't. Which actually, funny thing, we did have a guy that like he was like a journal guy, and he just attached to us, and he was like very good at what he did. Which I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't do that. I don't know what his job was.
Come back for you. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome back to Adulting, kind of, with Jeff and Zach. Hey, we are back here
Feels
on
good to be back.
week number. Nope, I keep not doing my my transitions. So yes, we are here, back in the saddle, week 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be quite honest with you. I am a little unprepared today. To be fair, I had class starting at 8 a.m. Right, Tuesdays and
How
Thursdays.
did you do that to
Class,
yourself?
yeah, because well, it's not bad, but then what ends up happening is I'm here till my last class ends at about 6 o'clock, and then I go to the newsroom, work on stuff, and then I'm here, and then after here, I'm back in the newsroom. Thus, the life of an editor. So I did not. So last week, what I did was I was in California on the plane ride home. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna write the script out or whatever, and I feel like that went pretty decent. And but it still felt a little flat. Like it wasn't like our best show, and I really wanted it to be good. So I was like, okay, the best for me to like, when I feel like we're really on is week. It was about 2 hours beforehand, right? So if I have 2 hours from that 6 to 8, which is available in my schedule to do because my last class is at 6 and this is at 8, is to really get into that. But unfortunately, I just didn't have time,
Life happens, my
or the
friends.
motivation to do that. But
Too.
so it's still going to be a great show. Still going to be a great show. Hey, breaking news, everybody! I was talking to 2 young people in the newsroom. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. And they told me they had Chick-fil-A. Now their bellies aren't feeling very good.
Wait.
Their bellies aren't feeling very good.
Uh-oh.
So
What's going on with that? Uh-oh.
so if you're listening to that, oh my gosh, before you even get started, they took our signs down.
I've seen a few. Yeah,
Did you
I've
notice-
seen a few missing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I meant all of them. So we're gonna do that again. I think you have to get permission to put stuff up.
Yeah.
That is totally not us. We are Rebel Radio. We walk to the
Broadcasting with the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody on campus is listening for the first time tonight, I am sorry. But that's okay because what ended up happening is we switched our nights from Tuesdays to from Thursdays to Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's
And I didn't feel like printing them out. So I was in the veterans office, and the veterans office there's a lot of Marines there. So of course there's a ton of crayons. And I took so it looked like children and my handwriting. I crossed out Thursday and wrote in crayon Tuesday. And because I have the handwriting of a child, it looks like a child did it. Adulting kind of with Zach. There's pictures of little kids. It all fit together.
Yeah,
But
that's perfect.
Jody did
Like
a
if
group. Jody, shout out to
deliberate.
Jody. She actually reprinted them out, or not reprinted, remade them for to say Tuesday.
Thank
So
you,
they're
Jody.
coming back.
Absolutely.
They're coming back. They're coming back. Hey, happy birthday, Jeff! Got to see Jeff this weekend. That was a good time.
It
a good
was.
time.
Didn't surprise or didn't see that coming at all.
Absolutely. We that was a good time. So we got a lot of good stuff going on the campus. Right on Wednesday we have the expo. So if you're looking to get involved in campus, if you're looking to maybe you want to get out, maybe you want to explore, maybe you need to meet new friends, want to get social. Believe me, college is the time to do it. Go out to the expo and listen. You don't have to do it right away, right? Like you get to look at stuff and then join later. All these groups are kind of always low in attendance. It already feels like. With that being said, if anybody at any time has an opinion and you want to put it in the paper, I am the opinions editor. Email it to me at petroffz@duq.edu or chase me down or follow me or whatever, and we will get. I will do the best I can if it's good, right? And I don't care what your opinion is, right, left, center, libertarian, whatever whatever your thought process is. I don't care if it's about a TV show, anything you want, as long as it's good, as long as it's enthralling, as long as people will open the newspaper up and go straight to the opinions page, then yeah.
What's the process of that? I mean, tell me a little more because I'm actually a little intrigued. How do you actually submit for that?
You write it out. Usually what I'm looking for is anywhere from 650 to 1,000 words. Most likely 650 because I take the 1,000 words. But again, I don't care. I give up that space for any writer. And you just you submit it to me. I edit it and I get it in the paper.
Nice.
Yep, it's a nice little resume builder. It's pretty cool. And again, you can write literally about anything. One of the best opinions I read in the Duquesne Duke was from the previous opinions editor. Her name was Zoe, and she wrote about I think it was Survivor season 43. So
all right, I didn't see that.
People
I don't
still-
know what I thought it was you were going to say.
yeah, no. So absolutely, and all that stuff is good to go. On some lighter news, let's touch base on some things that I wanted to talk about last week. So before I got to school, right before I came, my first week of school kind of got a little bit hectic. It was a good hectic though. I flew out to the beautiful state of California in the Bay Area for a beautiful, oh my gosh, beautiful, probably extremely expensive wedding, and it was very, very pretty. It was a good time. The people, I mean, it was kind of.
Is this one a little smoother? No issues with the tux or the shirts or anything?
Oh no, well, that's the thing. Like my tux is still huge. I look like a doofus, right? But like I'm just not made for suits. I'm not made to dress up. Like if I miss belt loops still. Like I don't even think I don't have socks on today. I'm an adult man and I don't have socks on with my shoes. It's just not who I am. It's just what I can't do. So yeah, no. The sports coat was not extremely, but it was big on me. I had that thing when I was 219, 220. I'm down to 175 now, so like 180. So I look like a dork in it, but thank God it was in California. Nobody had their sports jacket on. But it was a beautiful scene. But I did come with the realization, and I do want to take this opportunity, as I have the airwaves, to inform everyone that no matter what happens in life, there are two certainties for me. The first one is I do not want a wedding. I don't get that process at all. I've been to some beautiful weddings. If that's your thing, absolutely go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hear about me getting married one day, it's just going to be a Facebook status change. That is it. There is no.
I can't bring 5 people and
no
$100 per plate.
No,
I can't do that.
None of that seems fun.
You don't want to dress up all day.
People get so angry. There's so much angst to it, and like the things you want people to pay attention to. It's just that's a very expensive party, and it's a weird, and it's a formal party, and it's just something. So, friends and family out there, if you're listening tonight, which I hope you are, or random person at Duquesne, I am not getting married. There is going to be no Mr. or Mrs. Petrov ceremony ever.
No destination wedding, nothing.
We
can't have that hangover party.
None of that.
You don't want that hangover experience, though, man.
No, like the process in general is just absolutely ridiculous. Like it's expensive. It takes so long. People get so anxious, and then you have to worry about a seating chart. If I do have to get married, like I'm going to make it it's going to be on a Tuesday evening. It's going to be at like 4:30 on Tuesday. Like so the dress attire is going to be tux only, or it's going to be or shirtless. I don't know yet. It'll be in December. It'll be just a very obnoxious, and like it'll be over like a holiday weekend or something, or like right after a holiday weekend where you can't get time off work, and I'm going to make it very, very difficult for everybody. So, so my loved ones out there, friends, family, and Bill, if you're listening, an acquaintance of mine, there is no wedding. It is going to be 100%. You just go to the courthouse or whatever. Like the least amount of movement, the least amount of money I have to pay the state to let them know that I tricked some young lady to spend some time with me until we have kids, and then the kids grow up, and then we end up resenting each other, hating each other, divorce, and just the American dream.
Absolutely.
So that's good there. Oh, and another thing, I'm not doing a funeral either. Same thing, same premise, right? The funeral thing is absolutely. I want this on record. I want everybody to know this. Having a little bit of difficulty in this in the studio. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I want everybody to know this. I want this to be every clear. If anything were to happen to me, no funeral. None of you are invited. That stuff is so weird. The only way I would want a funeral is if I become a famous writer, which, if the way things are looking right now, probably isn't going to happen for a while. So, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, no, absolutely.
You sure you don't want the most expensive casket or that one of the widows crying over? None of that stuff.
No, none of you are invited. That is such a waste of time, and it's so weird to like hang out and like look at dead bodies and stuff like that. And I know and if it's part of your grieving process where you feel like you need that, download a YouTube video of me or whatever. Like it's there now. Like no funerals, none of that's happening. So no wedding, no funeral. Just gonna enjoy life. Don't want any of that.
I
So
think that when I die, everybody better be sad.
everybody
We better be
Oh,
sad.
well-
We're
well,
going
yeah,
the
of
Queen
course.
route. Cry until like for a month. Like we're talking the whole thing. Like shut down Pittsburgh, shut down the United States. Just weep for me for a little bit.
I'm going to break this microphone. I hope you can. If anybody out here can hear this,
It's the most annoying sound.
I do apologize.
I hope it's not a sound that everybody can hear because it's bad.
I do apologize about that. Sorry, I got a text message. I had my fantasy league draft on Monday last night. Obviously, I did the best. I mean, that goes without saying.
After that send off, I'm like, you have to do the best.
My
Else you never hear the end of it.
we use the platform Yahoo, and I got graded a D plus. So I was the worst graded, and I have the lowest points. So just, I love that because that's just going to show everybody how much I'm going to destroy them. You can never count out Zach. Never count out Zach. I'm going to lose. Because what I did was I
You
drafted
got
a
this,
couple
man.
players that are waiting in the wings, right? I have a couple of guys that won't be able to get in there until some injuries or some things happen. Some running back by committees until the best one proves himself. And by week 3, by week 4, at least by week 8, I will be just destroying it. I don't care what seed I end up as, but as long as I make it to the playoffs. So, hey, tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about it's something that I think needs to be said. It's something, a lesson that I need to, be reminded of, and it's called tactfulness, right? Like choosing your battle. So we're going to come back after this break. We're going to talk about, what needs to be, how to properly navigate some of these social situations. And I'm going to go over an experience I had this week. It was a good experience. No, it was definitely a good experience. Just sometimes, we have situations where we feel like we're the primary, we are our own main characters, and sometimes we're not, and it's important to realize that. It's important to have that kind of self-reflection on that. So when we come back, I'm going to gather my thoughts, jot some few notes down, and we're going to go into what I like to call tactfulness. Hey guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, I really need a script. I do so bad when I don't have a script. Plus, I need to figure out how Spotify works. So, all right, guys, we'll be back after this. Thank you so much.
That was a really good one.
What's up?
The transition, that was good.
I know, finally.
That was really good.
Why do I have an orange pen? Is this yours?
No. You need one?
No, I don't need it. No, I got it sometimes.
Yeah. I still from the office. You gotta find a balance. So half script and half unprepared. Because
Well, that's what I-
preparedness, you get that transition.
I didn't even
so
grab
much
the
better.
right notebook, so I had notes that I could have gone over last week. Son of a gun.
Those days, man. Like you said, it's feeling like midterms already.
It really does.
Oh, Which did you park up on campus? Is you parked up on the?
Oh yeah, I parked in more future Duquesne students. Oh, like in the park. Have you in the 7th floor of the garage? Like right. So
Oh no, yeah. So you can walk right out.
Yeah. They're lucky I wasn't handicapped today.
I mean, you are a disabled vet. You technically can use that stuff. You do know that, right?
Yeah, but that's not. I'm physically able to. Like,
Hey, man, it's not a competition. Don't let them. Don't
yeah,
let
but
them-
I still have like a level of.
Hey, man, to somebody else, it's not a competition, man. Broken, harmed, all that good stuff. You don't need to be an amputee to be broken.
You do anything fun this weekend?
Nothing planned. Oh, wow. No. I'm thinking. I don't know why I thought today was Thursday for a second. I'm like, crap. Nothing planned. We'll see what happens. Probably gonna take it easy. Oh wait, no, long weekend. I had to find something. What you got planned? You see, you watched Game of Thrones yet?
No, I'm gonna wait for a couple episodes, like me and Jody, because we watched that Nathan watched this really funny show, but it was only 6 episodes long, so like we need a new
Nathan
thing.
for you?
Yeah, it's that guy, but he did a new show on HBO Max. Dude, it's hilarious, but it's like extremely depressing.
Oh no, what is it?
I forget the name of it.
You gotta send that to me because he's been cracking me up. Did you see what's the one?
Oh, I left it. Hey Jody, if you're listening, can you text me the name of that show we watch? Sorry, listeners, but the Nathan Fielder show or whatnot. Thank you. I could have just texted you, but I wanted to sound cool.
My favorite. Did you? What's the one where he does like the business ones?
Nathan for you.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, did you see the one where he sold ice cream yet?
Yeah. The Rehearsal is what it's called.
Oh wow. Hey, Jody. That is cool, but whatever.
We'll transition time. And we are back. Look at these transitions tonight. You know, if we're going to do one thing right, it's going to be these transitions if I don't throw this microphone out this window because that noise is defining. Okay, so can I tell you about a scenario that happened last week? I know this isn't about tact or whatever. So, okay, all right, listen to this, right? So I'm at this wedding, right? So this wedding, so it's Jody's rich friend, right? So I got to, and again, everybody was really nice. I really didn't enjoy some of the parts, and I really enjoyed like everything that it was a good time, and but I had to hang out with like rich centrist Democrats all weekend, and those are two things like it for me it goes libertarians, centrist, conservative MAGA people, and then like moderate Democrats. Like those are my least from least to most least to least or whatever. Anyway, so there's this. So we end up leaving, and then we end up staying the night at the bride's family's house. Right. So a bunch of them flew in from all over the country, and we all ended up staying at somebody else's house, which is always weird, right? Yeah. So one of the guys that's there, right, he doesn't know anybody either. So I'm thinking, okay, this is perfect. He's from Michigan, right? So he's from Michigan. So for me, like the common like glue of male interaction is talking football, right? Mm-hmm. I think once you like that worked for me in the Marine Corps so much, right? Yeah. We spent hours just talking football. It was really cool because you're with people from all over the country and all that good stuff. And so this guy's from he lives in Michigan. He's from Chicago, right? So I'm asking him about Mitch Trubisky. Boom, we start talking. He knows football, right? So we talk football. And as he's talking to me, his voice sounds so familiar, right? Eerily familiar. And I'm thinking to myself, like, do I know this guy? Like, is he like he's from Detroit, which is not too far from Ohio. I don't. Maybe our circles crossed. Maybe something like that. So I keep and I'm being kind of weird about it too, like persistent about it. Where I'm like, hey man, you sound so familiar. Have we met each other? And he keeps saying no. Right? He is not giving me any sorts of clues, even though I'm adamant about finding out who he is. Now, mind you, the only conversation we've had thus far is about football. Right? So we go back. We finally get to the hotel, or the next night we stay in the hotel where we're at the rest of the week, and Jody, she's doing her like the wedding stuff, right? She's being so I'm just having fun, chilling in this very nice hotel room, watching a lot of sports, and in preseason football's on. They're doing a pit like thing on ESPN, and then it dawns on me. Right? It dawns on me who this guy sounds like. Patrick Mahomes, right? Have you ever heard Patrick Mahomes speak?
It's not ringing a bell right now.
Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has he sounds like Kermit the Frog who hit puberty, right? Like okay. that is.
You gave that perfect one.
That is who he is. It's a very, very distinct voice. And I know that this guy sounds like him because Jody, who has no idea about football, right? She knows literally nothing. I played her at one of his press conferences, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. That sounds just like him." So my beef with this guy is, you know who you sound like. Why aren't you telling me who you sound like? Why are you making me guess? Why are we playing this dance here? Like, I can promise you the first time he's been accused of sounding like Patrick Mahomes, like, that is a very distinct voice. We're talking football, so you know who he is. Like, why did you not give me that information? Why are you making me look like a fool? So that was a rant from last week that I wanted to do tonight.
I mean, if I sounded like any caliber of Kermit the Frog, I would hide that until
But it's out there. It's out there.
I would still try my best.
I wish I could do impression.
Yeah, I can't do a Kermit.
I can't. I can do Mickey Mouse laugh.
Oh, let's see what you got.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I can do Donald Duck.
Come on, let's hear the Goofy. Let's get the trio in there.
The Goofy sounds like Mickey. I have a friend that can do voiceover stuff really good. That's it. So anyway, so back on track. Friends and family, fellow Duquesne students, I do apologize. Again, I'm coming. We're winging it tonight. So that's not what this show caliber is. This is a high caliber show. I just got to figure out my schedule and how to be as productive as possible.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, so let's go. Like, I want to talk about tact, right? And that's something that's important, especially when you're passionate, and that can be hard when you're passionate. So, as you all know, because I've said it 1,000 times, I am the opinions editor for the Duquesne Duke, right? So I am, and so I was in California, and then our first week back, right? We got back to school on Monday, and we printed on Thursday, which is, that's a short time frame. Usually we have a week, but we only had 4 days for 12 pages, which is, that's hard to do. And it went off swimmingly. So
Nice.
Now there's a budget meeting. Unfortunately, and when I say budget meeting, it's you throw topics out, you see what sticks, what doesn't. And I wanted to do an article about women's rights. So it was, I had in my head this article about how, women's rights is extremely important, and I was going to make it, kind of like hey, I'm Zach, the opinion editor, and this is what I'm going to hit you with. This is the kind of stuff I'm going to hit you with. I really wanted to kind of set a tone for it.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't there at the budget meeting, so I couldn't argue my point. And they said, you know what, Zach, first paper off the rack. That's not what we want to go with, right? Let's ease into that stuff, and I'll get to that. So I said, okay, fine. And then Friday happens, right? So our budget meeting, was on Thursday. Friday happens. Deshaun Watson gets suspended, right? So I'm like, oh, perfect. This will be it. So I ignore them, and I end up writing a piece about Deshaun Watson. But I was trying to be slick with that. I was talking about women's rights, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a summer of hate was the title of it. And it was just how, women lost rights, and, I tied Deshaun Watson in there. And I was actually really proud of the piece, and I knew it was a good piece because it was one of those articles where it tied nicely at the end, where I could fit it in a bow, right? Mm-hmm. So I read it, I worked really hard on it, which I do on every article. And, I get it in there on Friday. And I had a news story. So on Friday, so I come back and write the story, and it's the night before, and they nix my news story, right? They said, whatever, it just didn't have enough room. Mm-hmm. And they said, Zach, we can't run that opinion piece, right? And so initially, my reaction, personally, not publicly, of course I took it in stride and I did that, but personally I got really upset, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, of course, it's a Catholic school. So I started having these crazy thoughts, not crazy thoughts, but, this kind of mentality where, woe is me. Why, my point is the decision not to run that story was the right one. Right, it's the right one, and maybe it's more with writing, but there are times where you really, really have to keep your ego in check, right? And I thought I was doing something profound, and I thought I was being, and I did this with comedy too, and it took me, 5 years after it to realize this, that, being the most controversial, and if you're not watching this, I'm doing the air quotes, that doesn't mean it's the best quality, right? I stick to this with jokes all the time, right? The first joke is never, when something happens, the first joke is never the funny one, right? It's just the one that's everyone's thinking. So the process that the paper that has been around for over 102 years, who has a faculty editor who's won a Pulitzer, all these great writers in there. First of all, they told me not to do the story, right? They told me not to do it. I did it anyway, and then I don't have the right in the space to get mad about that. You know what I'm saying? So it took a second to gather my thoughts. I took, probably a day, probably 2 days, 3 days, to really analyze and take a step back and realize that sometimes you do have to go along and you get along, right? And I've seen this happen. I'm sure you've seen this happen in the Marine Corps, right? You get promoted, you hit that NCO, you hit staff NCO, and you become a manager. And you want to change things, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to put my mark and I'm going to leave my mark immediately. And what ends up happening is it just doesn't roll, right? And you there's this tactfulness that sometimes you do have to understand that there are people smarter than you, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room unless you come to my house for Christmas. Then if you're the smartest person in the room, it's obviously me. There's probably a funnier way to say that. Sorry. And I'm doing that on purpose. But if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And there is an art form to being tactful. There's an art form to really getting what you want, right? It's so easy to get mad. It's so easy to look at things your way. But if you really do have a passion, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, these kinds of things aren't linear, right? They're not linear. It's not A, B, C, D, E, F. It's A, K, B, L, and it comes back and forth. And hopefully through, self-reflection and time away and, and this is more important than anything, rest, we realize that we do need to take a look and figure all the parties involved, figure all the sides in there, and then we can achieve what we're trying to do, but in a much more smarter, more tactful way that will eventually get to the goal that we want. So that is my rant for the evening. That's my rant for the night. I think it's important, right? Because, I was in my head a little bit. I hate when my stories don't get picked up, which I think, there's passion in there. But in the same sense, there is part of a greater good that I'm trying to serve, right? And I understand. Do I agree with it? No. Do I understand it? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think even, as we go on in our academic careers, as we go on into the workforce, you're going to have those people that are always right, always complaining, these these go-getters or whatever that are, paper tigers. And that's not the way to do it. So that's my speech for tonight. I was thinking of that in my head in the shower a couple of days ago. Hopefully that came out as coherent. So when we come back, we're going to lighten things up. I'm going to go over my story from last week because I'm a narcissist on the radio. We'll talk about what's coming up at Duquesne this next week. We're going to have somebody in, a special guest next week to talk about student loans. So I think one of the sections, excuse me before I go, before we take another break, I think what we're going to do, if that's okay with the audience, and if we need to change it, we will. We come on the radio on Thursdays. I come out with the paper, and then we're going to talk. What my article is on that Tuesday, right? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we'll talk about it. The article before, so we'll touch base on the articles on the Duquesne Duke. Again, that's a segment. I'm just using that for filler, but it's something I'd like to keep in. This week, if you have access to the newspaper or if you have access to the internet, read my opinion piece. It is going to be about the student loan crisis. I think I have an interesting take on that. So next week we're going to have a gentleman who knows kind of like the the loan situation and stuff like that. And I think he's going to be a really good guest. So what's his Tim, right?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim's a super nice guy. So yep, we'll come back after this. This is only I got to do a short song. Oh yeah. Okay, so before I get this in there, this is On Your Nerves. This is a band from Duquesne. They're about to have their record release this week. Yeah, so
Ooh,
they're pretty
see.
cool pop punk. So it's a short song, so we'll be back soon. Okay, I'm going to do better with these transitions.
Not bad.
What's that?
Oh, the song.
Oh yeah, this is my first time hearing them. I just know they don't say bad words in this song.
Definitely sound like they would though.
What's that?
Say bad words in this one.
Oh yeah, no, this is the only. So this is why I picked this song because it's the only one that didn't have the little E on it, or the little explicit. But the nice thing about this music is you can't understand what they're saying anyway.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I love the auxiliary. No. Oh, okay. Stop. No. Okay. Hi, we're back. All right. So not our best episode tonight. You know, a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're still trying to get in the swing of things. We're still trying to get in the swing of things. I think I have it though. I think I have like the schedule that I can do that can make my life easier. It's just, you know, finding your way through it and stuff like that. So, and I'm an incredibly disorganized person. Jeff, are you an organized person?
I try to be, but I feel like after a while it just collapses and you just go with the flow.
Do you start out real, or do you like what's your process?
It depends on what it is. Try to start out organized, but then after a while it just evolves. If I can keep that energy going, then I try to keep the organization. But after a while I just realize, depending on what it is, just like it'll be fine.
Yeah, I am. That's a skill.
It is.
That is so hard. I try so hard to be organized, and it feels like I'm the same. Like I'm organized for like a week and a half, and then like one little thing, like it's the thread or the cards of what's that? Yeah. Jeff just did a thing where he moved his hand really quickly, and it looked like he was pulling away something.
Yeah, little thread on the thing.
Yeah, a little thread.
It keeps
That's what
going.
he was doing. So, in case you weren't able to see that.
Oh,
so.
right. Keep forgetting it. Yeah, they can't see us all.
Yeah. So, hey, Jeff, remember that time you told that guy from the Steelers that you were representing a dead soldier and the soldier was still alive?
I think that was somebody else. That was definitely somebody else.
Hilarious. Hey, if you haven't checked out the most recent paper, the Duquesne Duke, please do. And make sure you switch over to page 8. My picture's in the paper now, right? I got a cool
Handsome
picture.
devil in there.
I don't know if I can show it to you. If you can see that. Look at that. Look at
It
that.
is.
You're good looking. They don't put that on the internet though, and they said, you know, their inboxes would be flooded. Oh, who's calling you? Is it a girl?
It is. Actually, oh, funny thing is, our director just added me on Facebook.
Which director?
Our director.
Who?
Chris. He's on Facebook.
I bet. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Okay, don't show me. Don't show me. I want to guess. Okay. So Chris is our director. He was a 20-some year veteran. He was in the Marine Corps. He spent a lot of his time as a recruiter. Very, very nice guy. Would do a lot for you. Jeff does a lot of work there, you know, but he does do a lot. He's asked to do a lot of Duquesne. Okay, so with the limited information that we all know, right? So I just told you everything you know. He's a shorter guy, wrestler from Wisconsin, 20 years in the Marine Corps, a recruiter. Okay, do me a favor, Jeff, and we're gonna play a game here. Click on his profile picture.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, how many profile pictures are there? Like, does it give you a number like 1 of 24 or 1 of 50 or how many?
It does.
Okay, how many pictures are there
For his profile,
for his profile picture?
I got 4.
Okay, 4. Oh, this makes it a little bit tougher. But I'm going to guess there is at least 1 picture that signifies that he was in the military, and there is a picture with him in some sort of vehicle or of a certain vehicle, like a truck or a motorcycle.
Surprising. So you got the military part right.
Of course I did.
But not for the same reason you think, though, which is very surprising. I think this might be his work account.
This is his work account, but there's still a picture of him in the military?
Not of him, but actually, wait, is this him? No. Okay, no. Surprisingly, no.
There's no picture of him in the military.
There is significance of him being in the military, but not a picture of him being in the
So there's okay, but he's letting the world know through his Facebook picture
military.
that he was in the military.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Out of the 4 pictures, and this is an older gentleman, so he's been on Facebook probably forever. One of those pictures is showing that he was at one time in the military.
Not so much himself, but it's
Support our troops.
no.
What is it?
It's just an ROTC unit. So Army ROTC.
No, that's not bad. Okay,
That's what I'm like, it's not
Okay,
bad.
Okay, you know, I was thinking because he does, he does what every Marine does. He buys a truck.
Surprisingly, like you wouldn't know that he was like a Marine.
Well, you know what? Then I stand corrected. I thought it was going to be,
But work account though still.
It is a work account. Thank you for trying to
I
make me
think
out
it's
that.
a work account, but
And there's nothing wrong with doing
Yeah.
that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you're proud to serve your country. I'm sure I have it, somewhere in there. But you do open yourself up for criticism because that's what we like to do. So absolutely.
I will say, does this count?
Yeah, of course that counts. What are you talking about? He put his unit in there.
Well, he wasn't in the Army.
Yeah, but that's a unit he was in charge of or whatever.
Yeah, okay, fine. And he's also got a picture.
That's almost
of
as bad as being like your Boy Scout thing. Like ROTC, what's the difference between ROTC? Yeah, what are you talking about, Jeff?
Well, this isn't him though. It's his unit that he managed over in Pitt. That doesn't count.
Okay.
That does not count. This is like stolen valor, if anything.
Hey, talking about stolen valor. Jeff, remember that time we went to the Steelers and you told that gentleman that we were there to represent a fallen soldier? And he showed us, he was nice enough to show us the inside, give us an inside look at Mike Tomlin's office and all that good stuff.
I don't remember that. Was I there for that? That might have been a different guy.
You
You
were.
sure it wasn't like one of the other veterans? It definitely sounds like it was a different veteran, my friend.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You sure it wasn't Chris himself? He might have did that. Sometimes he gets the wires crossed.
I bet he would. Chris would be a great, if we could do an R-rated show, he'd be great here for some of his stories.
Oh,
He needs to write a book.
Yes.
So back to the paper. My column this week was Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 is too little, too late, right? So it's this idea that
Any way you can give away without like giving away the article?
well,
We
this
can
was from
still
last
read it?
week. That's why I wanted to do it from the week before, right?
Oh,
The student loan is not out yet, so I don't want to talk anything about student loans
Oh.
in this case. So, but I also don't want to be dated. A 15% tax increase on billionaires. Again, it's too. Yeah. I would love to have a discussion about the economy, and not our economy, just in an economy in general. There is so much misinformation out there. There's so much things. Listen, my idea to fix the economy may not be correct, and it if the world or the United States listen to me on my policies on the economy, there's a chance it would not do well. But it's based out of my own thoughts, my own reasoning, my own not my own, but there's some factual information that it's based on. And the system that we have right now is not working. There are the widening gap between rich people and the rest of us keeps growing and growing. And wages are stagnant, and wages are stagnant. People are forced to work so much. We don't have health. How do we not have health care in this country? Guys, I promise you we could afford health care. I promise you. We have the world's highest military budget in the world. Our military budget literally dwarfs the second and third highest military. Here's an idea. How about we don't give the military that big a budget until they can win a war, right? When's the last war, right? You're spending all this money into it, and we can't even, when's the last war we won, right? When can you say, oh yeah, we won that one for sure?
I mean, now even like with the Navy running it, like the Navy's always like crashing their ships into rocks and all that stuff too.
And-
Hopefully not crap on our Navy. Love those guys, but like before, like planes weren't always crashing, ships weren't always like. It's just none of that stuff was like happening before.
Sure, right,
And it's not cheap to crash a ship.
that's not how you fight wars anymore anyway. The way we fight wars is totally changing, right? Yeah, we'd be really cool if it was 1967,
Oh,
but
yeah, with the
unfortunately,
trenches and everything.
the face of the war changes.
And we're not evolving with it too. That's also the crucial thing.
And then it's super important. So what's happening? So essentially, if you look, every time somebody says they don't want to pay for something or they comes to the taxpayer, I want you to go and I want you to look at how much we spend in military spending, right? Out of the wealthiest planet or wealthiest country in the history of this planet, right? We are the richest country ever in the world, right? Ever in history in terms of resources and everything like that. We use so much, we use half of that budget for a military that will never either see existence, that are given to buddies and cronies and these corporations. We need to have an overhaul, not an overhaul, because that sounds too drastic, but what we need to do is have an economy built from the bottom up. We need to be putting more resources into the majority of the people, right? Imagine a working class that has access to free healthcare, right? Imagine an employer, we always talk about these small businesses. Imagine a small business doesn't have to participate in their workers' health. That's insane to me that's even how they're even linked. That alone should be enough. And I'm telling you, the money's in there in the budget.
Absolutely.
The money's in there in the budget. And this inflation, now, whether we're in a recession or not, that is up to debate. If you look at the true definition of what a recession is, it's just technically, and I use that word so lightly, we are not in a recession. We are not. But the economy's tanking. Who cares? You can call it whatever you want. We are in an area where the middle class is shrinking. There is no middle class. People are not being paid. They can't afford. Rent keeps going up. There is no buffer that is protecting the small people. And I know everybody wants to talk about loadouts and free handout. And yes, those type of people do exist, but they exist at such a small scale. Why throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? There's a lot of things that we are not accomplishing and that we could do so much better with in this country if we took what these huge corporations are using with their influence on Congress, their inability to see anything past the next business market margin. And if we could take that and reinvest it into the people, this country could take a totally different direction, right? And there's a lot more to that conversation that should be had. Unfortunately, I am probably not the person, especially now, 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night after a full day of class. I'm not doing a good enough job, expressing that thought. But I do. Here's what I would like to do. The problem I think that happens is people can't understand numbers. Right, we as a people, it's a human thing.
We're scared of them.
We don't fully understand basic numbers, and we can't visualize numbers. We don't know the difference between a million and a billion. And here's a thought experiment that I've kind of been thinking about. So if you're listening at home, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to close your eyes. Right, close your eyes. Don't fall asleep because we're boring. But close your eyes, and I want you to think of one pencil. Right, just think of what one pencil looks like. Right, and then. If I looked inside your head, if you looked inside my head, and we saw that one pencil would look like, right? So if I said, okay, close your eyes and look at 5 pencils, right? I think our images would match up, right? What your expectation of 5, what my expectation of 5. Now it gets a little bit trickier when I say, what does 1,000 pencils look like, right? So you in your head, close your eyes. Your 1,000 may kind of look like my 1,000.
But it also may be off.
But it could be off. It won't nearly be as accurate as the 5 or 100, right? Now, if I tell you 1,000,000 pencils, and you close your mind and think of 1,000,000 pencils, and I did the exact same thing, totally off. large numbers are hard to grasp. That's not like a slight or anything. That's just how the human mind works. We're not, when it comes to these big, large quantities, our mind has a hard time grasping those things. So when we say things like a millionaire and a billionaire, those are drastically different economic socials, right? So when we say let's tax billionaires, right? People hear, well, what if I become, a millionaire? They think that's on the same scale, and it is not. There is a huge discrepancy between a billionaire and a millionaire, and I can't say this enough. You can't achieve $1 billion without exploitation. Impossible. Impossible. And I'm sure somebody will send me some kind of article about bootstraps or whatever ridiculous concept that's being fed out to you, and that is just a total lie. So that was my rant on that. What time is it? Oh, I only got 10 minutes. Hey, we're going to make it through tonight. I'm going to go back to a song, and then once we come back, we'll close this night out. What do you say, Jeff?
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Here, talk and say something so I can transition.
All right. Let's see that transition. Ooh, there we go.
That's what I have to do. I have to play the music while we're talking.
Yes.
Keep the auxiliary on, but keep the mics low.
I will say, if you had the chance, someone did like the visualization, like they actually did the like what it looks like. I think they used gumballs.
Yeah.
And it's just like wild to look at. I think gumballs that they did rice.
Yeah.
But regardless, seeing it, it's vastly different.
What's that fable or whatever? A guy coming into town that says, "I'll do this thing if you give me, if you increase double the rice by a checkerboard, and by the time it's like a trillion."
Yeah. Like what's double it for? Was it 30 days, 60 days?
It
Regardless.
was a checkerboard, so I think 64.
No.
But he could. I don't remember.
Regardless, it was a lot. Of course, it doesn't seem like a lot. 2, 4, 6, or 2, 4, 8, 16. Like it's not a lot. 32. It's not that much. 64, 128. Please don't judge me if that was off. So 164. Regardless, it adds up fast. And like you said, that visualization is also something crazy too.
Yeah.
Like you don't need this much. You couldn't spend this much money. Even feeding it back into it's already making enough money. You're fine. Your family's good. Like your family's good for a few generations before they even have to remotely think of actually doing something.
That was a good album. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, that's how I had to do like this song,
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, it's back.
Oh my gosh. What is that?
Might be intended for the phones.
What is that?
Because did you do anything? Okay, so yeah, it's interference from something. Remind me to get an aux cord before we get out of here.
I feel like it's from the microphone.
Some interference that should be do thing.
And we are back. Look at that transition.
You gotta frame that transition somehow.
Friends and family, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. Hey, if you're new to the program, we are on every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 until probably midterms, where probably take a break, here and there.
Probably.
I do promise you, I'm trying to get this new schedule going. Then sometimes, I like to just be random or whatever, try to get some of these thoughts in my
Speak
head
from the
out there.
heart. That's fine.
Yeah, sure. The only problem is I talk too much. Like I take over.
That's why you have a radio show. That's
Well,
literally
yeah.
the thing you want.
No, I get that. So I do appreciate everybody for listening to us tonight.
Anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. I do need to make an apology. Last week I did not wish Amanda Perdikin a happy birthday.
Oh, no.
So even though she hinted that in the Facebook comment, so I do apologize. Hey, yeah,
Oh,
and
happy belated birthday.
so happy belated birthday, Amanda. I hope,
We're thinking about you.
yeah, I hope your tarot card readings say everything they're supposed to say. And
Tarot cards, huh?
yeah, she's really into tarot cards and anything like that. Hey, if you want to follow us on Instagram. It's adulting_with_Z and J. Email us. You can email me at petrovz@duq.edu. Follow us on YouTube. Hey, and I do ask you a favor. So they're tracking this. They don't track this Facebook thing, which I hate. Facebook is. Gosh, can you hear that in Radio Land? Can you hear that horrible buzzing? Oh my gosh! You know what? It is this cord. Okay. All right. So if at night and you're listening to us, you can always they track these. Excuse me. So if you could listen to us on the radio, right? So if you have a chance, right? Like if I want you to listen, however you listen, please do. But if there's a couple different mediums, if you can listen to us via the radio, right, through that link that we have on our Instagram, that we have on my Facebook page, that we have on, our email signature, listen to that, because they do track that number more so than anything else, and that's going to help us out. We are going to try to work and get a video podcast, not a video podcast, a video radio show on there. So that is coming down the pipe. Next week, we are going to have Tim, who's going to talk to us about how he kind of navigated through student loans, which is going to, wind up really well with my article. And we'll be in a lot more preparation, and everybody, hey, Labor Day is this weekend. Be safe, right? Be safe.
Have
I
some
remember,
fun.
yeah, absolutely. Remember, this holiday is about unions. So, collectiveness. And that's what this holiday is about. So have fun. Be good, go Steelers, and I am very much looking forward to talking to everybody next week. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for bearing with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Jeff and I would like to say peace. Oh, wait, no. What was my saying?
You should have just went with that one. I like that one.
Yeah, but it sounds so 90s. So
I'm not.
be good to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this all written down in my real notebook. This is my fake notebook, but so guys, when I see you again, be good to each other. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye.
Okay, I will bring this damn headphones so this doesn't happen. And I got headphones too, which is what pissed me off.
Oh no, it's not. I'm gonna. No, it's fine. I mean, it's fine.
Splitter 2, so we can get the.
Plus, it's cool. If I complain about the equipment and the show's bad, I can just say, "Hey, it's the equipment."
All right.
What are you up to next?
Got to do some reading.